So before we get straight into this video, if you don't know who this is my boyfriend Billy, and this is me. I got him to answer some questions that girls are too afraid to ask their boyfriend, their husband, just some pretty generic questions. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. Okay, so I thought it would be really fun if I asked this guy over here some questions that girls are too afraid to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You know the drill?
I know the drill. I have answers. I don't know if they're the right answers.
I couldn't fall asleep last night, and I didn't have the questions picked out yet, and I honestly made up a bunch. But honestly, a lot of them are scratchy questions, like...
Scratchy? Like, where'd you get these questions from? Did you just make them up in your head?
I thought of them in my head, yeah.
A challenge.
Ew.
Ugh.
It's still there! So ready? You gotta answer it honestly.
Okay, I will answer honestly.
Number one. Also, hold on. These questions are, answer them appropriately as much as you can, because I am kind of PG. You know what I mean? So, these questions are,
You're gonna ask,
aren't
what
your
does
basic...
a guy do, at night?
Yeah, no.
What?
Right. So, but no, a lot of the videos are. One of the videos is just stupid. Okay, so here's the first question. Does it bother guys when their girlfriend stops wearing makeup, dresses up, or looks cute? Or the opposite, does it bother guys when a girl always wears makeup?
I think that it would bother a guy more if a girl always wore makeup. But I don't know. You don't always wear makeup.
Yeah.
And you go through I don't know, different changes. I don't know. I think it's more genuine, and if you really love a girl, then you would prefer her without makeup, because that's the real her. That's
yeah.
And she feels comfortable enough to be like that around you, comfy and just no makeup. So I think that's better. But that's just my opinion personally.
But does it bother you at all? I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I don't know. I noticed this in other people. Girls stop getting ready and looking cute because they're in a relationship now.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of did that yourself a little
really?
bit. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, when we first started hanging out a lot, you would always look nice, and then as the years went on, you would come over and you'd just be wearing sweatpants and a hair tie in.
That's true.
But I didn't care because I loved you either way. So.
What's the first thing a guy notices about a girl he's in love with? If I were to because you're in love with me.
Well, I think it all depends on what kind of aspects of love you want. My favorite thing about you is how funny you are, and your personality, how goofy you are. So that's what I fell in love with first. But honestly, guys have different things that they like. So maybe a guy would fall in love with a girl because she's sassy, or she you know what I'm saying? But most of the time it's a personality thing. I think physically anybody can look good and have a trashy personality, and just because you might see a girl and be wow, she's hot, you're not gonna say I love that girl because she's hot.
Yeah, that's true.
So
unless you're just a psychopath or something.
Yeah, exactly, a crazy weirdo.
Okay, here's an interesting one.
Okay.
And
I'm scared.
Answer it as objectively as you can.
Okay.
Do most guys care about getting with a girl their friend has been with?
See, that's where I draw the line. I think it's weird. I don't know why. I just think it's weird. Having said that, there is plenty and plenty guys I know that have hooked up with the same girls multiple times, go back and forth with them, and to me, that's weird. But some guys, I don't know if they think it's cool, if they think that if it gives them something to talk about when they're at the next party. I think it's weird.
Yeah, I think too, but the only exceptions is if they happen to be in love. I mean, I know that's kind of rare, but I would never stop two people from being in love. Okay, hooking up, that's different, and fooling around, but if your best friend was maybe fooling around with this girl, and then years down the road you guys actually kind of like each other and fall in love, then I mean, hey, that's an exception. But yeah, it's rare.
That is an exception. However, if my friend was in love with her first and then they broke up, I would never get with her because I knew my friend was already in love with her.
Love is different.
Yeah. So.
Ugh, yikes. Okay, do guys grow up thinking about marriage and having kids?
No. Growing up, guys think about playing like Nintendo 64. I don't know. That like a childhood fantasy for like a boy is very different from like a girl.
Yeah.
We know about marriage. Like we know everything that like happens when we're young, the same way you know like about it, but we don't fantasize about that moment. I think it's just the way we're groomed to like not think about stuff like that. I feel like as a kid, guys live more in the moment than girls. I think at a very young age is when girls start fantasizing about their future.
Yeah.
And
more
like,
likely to.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think guys at a very young age, like they're not thinking about their future at all. They're like living in like the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, do guys screenshot text messages and send it to their friends asking for advice? Like if a girl were to send you something crazy, like do guys screenshot it and send it and like, oh my god, and kind of like gossip over it?
I don't do that. But some guys have came to me and asked me like, yo, like look at like what should I do? Like what should I even say to her? And it's hard to give advice on a relationship that you're not a part of.
Yeah, it is. But I will never tell a girl, especially like a guy that they're in love with or they're dating or whatever, like, oh, screw him, like he's being rude. Like I just always felt like that wasn't my place, and I don't want to disrespect their relationship because they're gonna be fine the next day. So I don't want them to be like, oh, Erika feels some way, or like
exactly. Like I don't want to say anything like, yo, like yeah, she's crazy, like you need to get rid of her, and then they're fine the next day. But now he knows that I think she's crazy, and I think like he should get rid of her. So yeah.
But what I will do, especially if it's a relationship I'm like really support and respect because the guy's just really good, I know the guy or the girl even too has good intentions, I'll always remind that girl like, well, you know, like I'm sure it's might be something else, but you know, he's a great person to you, like he's a good guy. Like I'll always remind the good, but I'll never bring up anything that could be bad. Yeah. That's for them to figure out. I mean, I'm always here to listen, so that's just who I am, but yeah. I'm just a good listener. How do guys handle breakups? I feel like girls like start new hobbies, change their hair, go out like crazy, make new friends. So what the heck do guys do? Guys cry. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most guys, if you break up with them, they're gonna act tough. They're gonna act all hard on social media or whatever, but they're probably crying. Be real with you. Having said that, it all depends on what kind of group of friends that guy has. Yeah, that's true. Because the first people like you go to after a breakup, if you're a guy, is your friends. Well, it's good to know they cry. They cry. Not me though. Do guys go to each other when they're in love and express it? Like, do you talk about how much you love your girlfriend? I talk about. I'm not like I love her so much. Like, oh my gosh, she's so cute and I love her. Yeah. I compliment like you. Like when I'm with my friends, I'll like. If something is like brought up, I'll be like, I'm glad I have a girl that like believes in this, or I'm glad I have a girlfriend that like does this or like looks like this in like certain contexts, like you know. Yeah, so that makes sense. What are major turnoffs when it comes to girls? Well, like obviously like a big like thing that guys like that I just hate is when a girl thinks that she's like all that. And I know there's like a million girls out there that think like that. I feel like I personally know a million girls that like act like that. And I guess that's just like the way it is. Like, I don't know. I hate girls that like want to be like taken care of, you know, like that can't like survive like on their own. They need like a guy like to be there to take care of them. And they feel that they deserve to get taken care of. Yeah, like it's like it's how it's supposed to be. It's a man's duty to take care of me. That's like, oh, it's so unattractive when girls act like that. And you just tell it by their voice, just by the way they talk. You can just tell that that's how they are. And I'm very good at like, I mean, I personally think I'm very good at like understanding the way a person is based off just a few conversations with them. So that's why like when I met you, like I knew you were different like right away because you didn't act like that. Okay, this is a good one. Do guys concentrate on finding a girl who's working toward a career as much as a stereotype for a woman to be like looking for a guy who's like on the path to their career or whatever, you know how like girls are like, I don't know, it might just be me, but like if a guy's not doing anything, he's not really on a path, it is a turn off for me. Is that like a turn off for guys?
Kind of like men are groomed to be like the breadwinner in like the household.
Yeah, that's true.
So like in any situation of guys, and they're gonna think that their girl, I'm gonna have to take care of her like when we're older, whether like they act like they're supposed to or not. Like in like even like in my mind, like I think when I'm older, I'm gonna have to like provide for my family. And that's just like the way it is. That's how we're groomed. So I think like for us, it's not as important to think about their career, because at the end of the day, we feel that we're going to be the ones responsible for taking care of like them and the family.
What is a clear sign that a guy isn't into you, or like isn't into a girl?
A clear sign that a guy isn't into you?
Yeah.
I mean, a clear sign. See, like, that's hard, because like what's like a clear sign? Because guys can like ignore a girl for like 7 days and then hit her up and be like, what up, want to come over? So like,
that's true.
I mean
that's a clear sign.
Yeah, I guess, but like it's a clear, but how clear is it? Because after he says like want to come over, then it's like, wait, like he didn't talk to me for 7 days, like now I'm confused.
But that's where and this goes for guys too, because a girl might do that to you.
If you're looking for a guy that loves you, that's a clear sign that that like he's like not into you and he's just trying to hook up. But
like read between the lines, you know what I mean?
Just in general, I think that if a guy really like, because guys, especially single guys, they're just like all over the place. If they don't text you or they don't communicate with you, they're not into you.
They're just
the way it is. If they were into you, they would talk to you. They would make some type of effort, whether it's sliding into your DMs or anything like that. If they're not doing that, they're not into you.
This one I kind of made up, so I don't know if it's a good question or not. But do guys think about their potential future daughters and how protective they'll be? Like, do you even think about stuff like that? Really?
Yes.
That actually surprises me.
Why? I told you that when the daughter brings like her prom date, I'm gonna be playing that stupid song. I'm gonna come downstairs.
Welcome
and act
to
like,
my house.
Yes.
Who sings it? Flo Rida.
Flo Rida. Welcome to my house. And I'm gonna be walking down the stairs jamming that song. And I'm gonna have like a gun on my holster.
Oh my god.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, you think about that.
Interesting.
Especially being a guy that was in high school and that like had friends that like
disrespected.
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, like if I ever have a daughter, I hope to God she doesn't ever like get a guy like you. Even though they're my friend, even though like I was laughing with them, I was partying with them, doing all that, I'm like, I hope to God my daughter never meets a guy like you.
Yeah.
And they're around every like high school, every like kid is gonna like, every like girl is gonna be in contact with guys that their parents aren't gonna like. Yeah. You know?
I'm not like excusing their behavior, because there are a lot of guys out there who are just very respectful from the beginning, you know, and I think it has a lot to do with like how you're brought up and raised. But most of the time I just honestly feel like it's in a guy's nature to kind of go through that immature stage, and then they might get out of it and they might never get out of it, which I see a lot in like our community, honestly. But I mean, everyone just needs to be smart, and at the end of the day, you do get yourself into situations that result in something, so choose wisely, I guess. Alright, that's it. That was all my questions.
Did I do good?
Yeah, get out.
Yeah.
Alright guys, hopefully maybe this gave you some insight, but take it with a grain of salt, because everyone is different, and everyone's just really different, so.
Everybody's very different, and
but I did want to record this with him, especially because we always like felt like we could have a podcast and talk about things. So here's our mini podcast for the day. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Sorry, I forgot the camera was on. All right, bye.
Bye.
Welcome to my house, baby. Take control now.